Hello, everybody. I'm back with another chapter of this book, Virginia Giuffre, Nobody's Girl. So I'm going to do chapter 21 like I promised you guys. It's a very short chapter, so let's just get into it, right? All right. Chapter 21, A Person of Interest. Ooh, my eyes are kind of whatever. 2 years before Epstein and Maxwell tracked me down in Australia, the stepmother of a 14-year-old girl had called the Palm Beach Police Department and said she suspected that her child had been molested by a wealthy Palm Beach resident. It was March 14th, 2005, and across the world, I, oblivious to any ongoings in Florida, was about to get pregnant with Alex. The concerned woman told police she learned about the incident from another mother who overheard the girl tell a friend that a 45-year-old man had paid her to have sex with him. The stepmother said she didn't know the name of the man, but she thought she knew the date about 5 weeks earlier. Today, reading the 87-page incident report filed by the officers who investigated that first allegation, I recognized so many echoes from my own life. Echo number 1 was that girl appeared to have been recruited by an older female, a community college student who picked up the 14-year-old in her truck and drove her to the man's mansion. Supposedly, the man has a lot of money and often has young girls come over to his house, the report says. The man starts with a massage. If he likes them, he keeps them around and does more. Thinking about what more meant gave me echo number 2. The report says the incident in question led to the girl getting into a fight at school with a classmate who accused her of being a prostitute. Sometime after that, the report says the girl was involuntarily admitted to a juvenile education facility because of disciplinary problems that recently escalated. There was echo number 3. Soon, so many more echoes emerged that I stopped counting. When the police interviewed the girl, she said the student who'd recruited her was named Haley Robson. She said that Robson told her on the way to the man's house that if the man asked her age, she would say she was 18. The girl recalled that the house that they went to, it was 2 stories and painted pink. It was on a dead-end street. When they arrived at the gate, the incident report says the man was not there, but the girl and Robson were welcomed into the kitchen by an assistant who said the man would return soon. The girls were offered something to drink. Don't ever take drinks from people. And always hold your own drink. Don't ever let anybody hold it for you. When the man did return, the 14-year-old said he introduced himself as Jeff. The girl recalled that Jeff had a long face and bushy eyebrows with graying hair. At this point in the interview, the incident report notes, the girl became upset and started to cry. The girl said a young blonde woman she believed to be Jeff's assistant took her upstairs. That's probably Sarah Kellen, that stupid bitch. She recalled walking up a flight of stairs lined with photographs to a room, with a massage table at its center, the report says. There is a mural of a naked female in the room, as well as several nude photographs of women on a shelf. The assistant told the girl Jeff would be there in a second, and she left. Soon, Jeff walked in wearing only a towel and told the girl to take off her clothes. Damn, the audacity of this fucker. Jeff was stern when he told the girl to undress, she recalled. She didn't know what to do because she was alone with him. She took off her shirt, she said, but left her bra on. Jeff told her to take off everything. She took off her pants, but left her thong underwear on. Jeff dropped his towel, then exposing himself, and got on the massage table face down. He told the girl to get on top of him, straddling his body, and to start massaging. Her exposed buttocks were touching Jeff's bare buttocks. Jeff was specific in his instruction to her on how to massage, telling her to go clockwise. Well, it depends on what chakra you're doing. It's either counterclockwise or clockwise. Anyways. And if you're at your stomach, that's clockwise, I believe. Yes. Okay, anyways. Her exposed buttock. Okay, Jeff was blah, 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 blah. At some point, Jeff flipped over and masturbated. He told the girl she had a really hot body. Later, Jeff used a purple vibrator to massage the girl's vaginal area. This trigger warning, guys. He went to the bathroom where she believed he masturbated again. When he returned, he gave her $300. Before she left the house, he asked her to leave her phone number. 2 days after interviewing the 14-year-old victim, police officers showed her a photograph of Jeffrey Epstein in a photo lineup. She immediately recognized him as Jeff. The Palm Beach police initiated undercover surveillance on 358 El Brillo Way and began secretly collecting and analyzing the contents of its trash cans. Among the items police would eventually find in Epstein's garbage, carbon copies of handwritten phone messages that chronicled a steady stream of girls who'd been coming to work at the house, a receipt for a 2005 Amazon purchase of 3 books about sadomasochism, SM 101, A Realistic Introduction, Slavecraft, Roadmaps for Erotic Servitude, Principles, Skills, and Tools, and Training with Miss Abernathy, a workbook for erotic slaves and their owners, as well as numerous sex toys, including the purple vibrator that looked identical to the one the 14-year-old girl told police Epstein had used on her. Over the next 13 months, investigators tracked down more than 30 victims. Each one seemed to lead them to at least one more and interviewed them. The incident report obscures their names, but not their ages. Redacted also stated she was 16 years old when she first went to Epstein's house. During a sworn taped statement, Redacted stated she met Jeffrey Epstein over a year ago. She was 16 years of age. Redacted advised her that when she was 15 or 16 years of age, she was taken to Jeffrey Epstein's house. An employee said Epstein routinely received 2 or 3 massages a day from different girls. Asked how old the massage therapists appeared to be, the employee said he felt they were very young. The man recounted how they ate tons of cereal and drank milk all the time, like his own daughter who is in high school. I still do that. Almost every girl interviewed eats cereal. Almost every girl interviewed told a similar story. On her first meeting with Epstein, he'd say that he only wanted her to do things she was comfortable with. But then over time, if the girl returned to the house, Epstein would push her to go further and further sexually. First, he'd ask for the nipples to be pinched hard, then he'd masturbate, then he'd try to fondle them and use sex toys on them. The incident report says he would pay more if they brought their friends to him. He would pay them more to have intercourse with him and sometimes would force girls to have sex against their will. And he would pay them more to participate in threesomes with him and an assistant, Nadia Marcinkova, the girl I'd been forced to train before I left for Thailand. A particular line in one of the victim interviews jumps out at me. The echo too loud to ignore, and the threat still terrifying even after all these years. Epstein had told at least one girl that she could not tell anyone about what happened at the house or bad things could happen. On October 20th, 2005, police executed a search warrant on Epstein's Palm Beach mansion right under the noses of a New York decorator and an architect who were there planning a renovation. Police officers noted that it appeared Epstein knew they were coming. It seemed computers had been removed from desks. Still, the incident report says officers seized the photographs of naked females that so many of the girl victims had described, as well as the incriminating message pads that included notes to Epstein like this one, written after a call from his friend Jean-Luc Brunel. He has a teacher for you to teach you how to speak Russian. She is 2x8, 16 years old, not blonde. Lessons are free, and you can have the first today if you call. Officers also seized a high school transcript of one of the alleged victims, a bottle of peach-flavored Joy Jelly sexual lubricant, 2 hidden cameras placed inside clocks, and several penis and vagina-shaped soaps, which were displayed prominently in the bathrooms. What a weirdo. In February 2006, investigators requested a grand jury session in which all the girls who had been interviewed would be called to testify. The goal, to seek an indictment against Epstein. But the incident report indicates that there were forces protecting Epstein from being brought to justice. The report notes that a lawyer for Epstein met with the state attorney's office and provided information about the main victims, including their MySpace profiles, where some mention alcohol and marijuana use. Afterward, the grand jury was postponed. Translation: a smear campaign was underway. So was a campaign of intimidation. The incident report notes that the father of the original victim stated there has been a private investigator at his house photographing his family and chasing visitors who come to the house. Detective Joseph Riccari, who was then leading the investigation, soon reported that another victim told him she was personally contacted through a source that was maintained contact with Epstein. The source assured the victim she would receive monetary compensation for her assistance in not cooperating with law enforcement. The victim stated she was told those who help him will be compensated and those who hurt him will be dealt with. Ooh. The grand jury was rescheduled to convene over 3 days in April 2006, and Detective Recarey served each victim with a subpoena. But on the eve of the proceedings, not a single victim had been told when or where to appear. Outraged, Recarey went to the state attorney's office to confront the 2 prosecutors assigned to the case. In the incident report, he states that one of them said that Epstein had been offered a deal, plead guilty to 1 count of aggravated assault with intent to commit a felony, and receive 5 years probation, no jail time. Epstein would have to submit to a psychiatric sexual evaluation and no unsupervised visits with minors, the report says. While Recarey was present, the prosecutor answered a phone call from one of Epstein's lawyers who said his client would accept the deal. Epstein's lawyers then requested that the grand jury be canceled. How convenient. Recarey couldn't believe what he was hearing. I explained my disapproval of the deal and not being consulted prior to the deal being offered, the detective wrote in the incident report. Still, later that day, someone in the state attorney's office called Recarey, he wrote, to officially notify me of the cancellation of the grand jury. He requested I contact the victims that had been served to appear to notify them of the cancellation. Recarey told that person he wouldn't do any such thing. Since the state attorney's office had made that decision, he said someone there could handle contacting the victims. Recarey was pissed off. The incident report makes that clear. On May 1st, 2006, in apparent defiance of the prosecutors, he prepared 3 arrest warrant requests and submitted them to the Crimes Against Children unit of the state attorney's office. The one for Epstein sought a warrant for 4 counts of unlawful sexual activity with certain minors and 1 count of lewd and lascivious molestation. The one for Epstein's assistant, Sarah Kellen, sought that she be charged with 4 counts of principal in the first-degree unlawful sexual activity with certain minors and 1 count of principal in the first-degree lewd and lascivious molestation. The 3rd warrant request was for Haley Robson. It sought her arrest for lewd and lascivious acts on a victim under 16 years old. In July 2006, Jeffrey Epstein was arrested on only 2 state felony charges, procuring a minor for prostitution and solicitation of a prostitute. Wow. He was allowed to post a $3,000 bond and go home. That's basically like $3 to him. The state attorney, Barry Krischer, had finally convened a Palm Beach County grand jury, but presented evidence from just 2 victims. The grand jury returned a single charge of felony solicitation of prostitution, to which Epstein pleaded not guilty in August of 2006. That was the last straw for Recarey's boss, Palm Beach Police Chief Michael Ryder. Disgusted with the way Krischer and his prosecutors had botched the case, Ryder took his department's findings to the FBI. I knew exactly none of this in 2007 when Epstein and Maxwell called me out of the blue. I had just 5 years away from them, and I wasn't done recovering. Soon, though, my family and I would be swept into a maelstrom. Maelstrom yet again. Maelstrom. Maelstrom. Never heard of that word, but that is the end of chapter 21. What was it called? A Person of Interest. So chapter 22 is called He's a Tyler, which that must mean something in Australian because Sheila is a pretty girl. So Tyler, I don't know what that means, but this one's really long and I have some names underlined in there, so pay attention to that. Next chapter is going to be an important one. So that will be chapter 22. He's a Tyler. Don't know what that means, but we'll find out. Nobody's Girl. Get it if you want to read it yourself, or you can read it with me. But I take a really long time getting the chapters out, and we still got a whole nother part to go through. We're on part 2, and there's like 3 or 4, I think. Anyways, so all right, love you guys. Enjoy your evening, your Monday Garfield evening, and I'll talk to you later. Gators. That's Jeffrey. All right, see you guys.